Hello, boys and girls, and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your nice break. And now that you are all refreshed and ready to go, putting those thinking caps back on, ready to expand our brains and packing in more knowledge. How exciting second semester is going to be. All right, so let's begin our new journey. And here we go with our first story, starting our Unit 4, the case of the gasping garbage. And this week, our spelling takes place with adding suffixes. I know we've talked about different suffixes, and there are so many out there. And as a review, we know that we have the ability to break apart words. And when we come to a word when we're reading that we don't know, we practice these decoding skills to understand so that we can break apart and we know the different pieces, we know what they mean, so that we can put them back together. And so not only do we know how to spell words, but we know that when we get to them, we can figure out what their meaning is. That increases our vocabulary, that increases our knowledge. It gives us so much more brain power, which is amazing because that's why we are so super smart here in fourth grade. So let's get ready to rock and roll. No time to waste. All right, so let's take a look at our 10 fabulous words for this week. We have, starting us off here, novelist. Magician comes in second. Then we have tourist. We have violinist. We have librarian. Then over here, starting us in the second column, we have criticism. We have environmentalist. We have historian. Then we have a musician. And then we have tourism. How many of those, give me a thumbs up, are words that you're familiar with? How many of those recognize? How many of you recognize some of those words? Oh, I see you. Good job. I knew you did. Those are pretty familiar. We've heard those before. We've probably used some of those words before. This will be a piece of cake. Now, let's take a look here at our second slide. And we are going to be, if you did not identify them yet, it's okay. We've got this. So our suffixes are an, ist, and ism, or ian, ist, and ism. They can be added, remember, suffixes to the end of a word to change the meaning of a word, okay? And remember that we refer to a root word because it can stand by itself, and a suffix. We've talked about a prefix. We've learned that we can break them apart, combine them, put them back together. I like to think of them when I'm processing and when I'm learning. I like to kind of think of them as kind of like those Legos, or how many pieces can I put together and what are they going to make when I get done. So that's my thought process when I learn. And so that's kind of how I want you to think of this. All right. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at our first. We're going to look at ist, or ist. And the meaning of this suffix is one who does something, okay? What is something that you do, okay? Are you a cellist? That means, do you play a cello? Are you a pianist? Do you play piano? All right, so think about that. It's familiar to you. You know what it is, okay? So if we look, and do not forget, I'm going to throw this in here very quickly. Our dictionary, you can always keep one handy, or you can always use the internet. You can always look up words. Do not ever be afraid to use resources and tools that are available to you. So now, if we look at our first word, novelist, and we underline this root word here, as you see I have done, novel. It says that there we can use the dictionary to tell us that it means, novel means a work of fiction. Okay? So, therefore, if I can combine those two pieces, those two Lego parts, all right, I can combine the two for a meaning of someone who writes of fiction, works of fiction. Makes sense, right? Perfect. I know you had this. So let's move on. Let's look at our other ones. So the other words I divided into two columns. I kind of separated it, but made it look a little bit different. Let's take a look at the last three, or the next three words that I had in my list that end in IST. Remember, we had tourist. Then remember, we had violinist and we had environmentalist. All right. I want you to take a look at those words, and we're going to wrap it up for today. Think about them. Then we're going to come back and revisit. I want you to see what you can come up with, and I will get back with you tomorrow. We're going to come back prepared. You're going to know what those root words are, and you have a great day, and I can't wait to finish up on our IST suffix. Bye-bye for now.